basically, Hand on Heart, new album. Do tell. What's it about and everything?
We started recording the album just before lockdown. We had a collection of about 5 songs that we went in and recorded, with a view to just seeing how they turned out, really, and see if we liked them. We recorded the first 5, sounded great. Then made plans to go in later that year and do another batch, but then COVID hit, and so those 5 songs just sat there for a while. We picked them up again last year. Did another 11 songs in the studio. Still hadn't decided whether to make an album or release them as singles or do an EP or whatever. And we sat down together at the end of the recording session and said, yeah, we think they're good enough, we like them. And so that's where Hand on Heart came from.
Okay. And just to go through a few of the tracks, I've been listening to over the last couple of days. What are the lyrics about with My Hand on My Heart? It's all about sort of family and friends and that kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're always very careful not to define what a set of lyrics is about, because that's in the ears of the listener as such. You can interpret a song in a certain way and then someone else sees them completely differently. So we try not to define those songs. We think that's down to the listener and the people who are buying the record to be able to make their own minds up what they're about. But I mean, you're along the right lines. I mean, I think when the song was written, when Burge wrote the lyrics, I think he was thinking more about family and teenagers leaving home and going to work abroad or going to universities or whatever, and saying, listen, whatever happens, we have to just look after yourself, but come back.
Yeah. So is the writing process a kind of a group thing, or is it like you've got 2 writers in the band, or how do you do it?
Well, it's varied. I mean, the songs on this album were written predominantly by Daryl and by Burge. What normally happens is that someone will come forward with some ideas and say, this is finished, or I've got the first verse but nothing else, or I've only got a title, or whatever, then everyone will chip in. There's usually a situation where the last verse needs to be written to finish the song off, or a bit late needs to be changed or whatever. So it's collaboration to an extent. Some of them are finished totally and nobody else gets involved with them apart from the writer. And then there are some where we all chip in.
Okay. And just looking at some of the other tracks, you've got Here We Stand, which was the title of one of your previous albums.
It was.
Was that a leftover from there, or do you think, never quite got around to it?
It's a good title though, so it ended up becoming a song title. But that wasn't written for that album. But I guess the title inspired that song, that there could be more said about that. It's almost, sometimes a song comes from an idea or a riff, and sometimes a song can come from a title or a phrase or something. And I think that phrase sort of spurred a song in its own right. I mean, it's weird because, as Cole said, there are times where songs can be completed by a writer and it's presented, but they don't become Cock Sparrer songs until all 5 of us have put a stamp on it. So I might write a song with verse, chorus, middle, intros, endings, riffs, everything completed, and do a demo and send it round, but it'll still sound like me doing a demo. Yeah. But once everyone puts their stamp on it, it becomes a Cock Sparrer song. Like, only the Cock Sparrer drummer can sound like the Cock Sparrer drummer. Only Colin sounds like Colin once his voice has gone on it. So we're sort of like the sum of our parts, and once it comes together, then it becomes Cock Sparrer.
Here We Stand is also a bit of a statement. I think it was always thought that would probably be the last track on the album, and if this is going to be our last album, then that would be a good thought to leave them with. Here we are.
And is it your last album, or is it, so many people give up showbiz and then come back one more time?
You're comparing us to Frank Sinatra now, aren't you?
Yeah. It's not the end of the band. We're not giving up gigging. We're not giving up touring. We're not giving up writing songs or even recording them. But it will be the last album, as in a body of work recorded and released as an album. It takes so long to do that. It eats into a lot of time. I think we'd rather be gigging and out enjoying ourselves. Takes a lot of energy. There's normally 7 to 10 years between albums. Probably haven't got that long left in us. It's not the last time we'll ever record. If we write a song we think's good enough, we can record it, release it as a single or a track on a compilation. But to actually go in knowing you're going to record an album we're not going to do that again. And I don't think we can improve on this, like production-wise, sonically, and whatever. It's quite a nice legacy to leave. It's definitely the best thing we've done sound-wise, and it would be horrible to just put something out to, you know, cash in on something and to trash your legacy because it sounded shit, rather leave on a high, to be honest.
Yeah. And I was watching the I Belong to You video, and what's that about? Is it just the story of the band, or?
It's just a journey, I think. There's lots of images on there from our younger years, and lots of images of us now, lots of friends on there, lots of places we've visited. So yes, it's a journey from start to finish.
But like as we said before, the song can be interpreted. We've already had 2 or 3 people say, "Oh, that's a love song," or "Oh, that song's about going away and coming back again, like a journey," or it could be coming back to somewhere where you feel you belong internally, or it could be going to prison and coming back home again. It could be travelling and coming back and landing at Heathrow Airport. It could be about so many things. And that's why we don't like to be prescriptive and say it's about this, because it may mean something to somebody else. But the general feel of it is certainly it's a journey, and we feel that the video really took people on a journey through our lives and back again. And then, so you know, the guy who did the videos a genius. He did have a couple of videos for us in 2017, and since then he's done videos for Green Day, Noel Gallagher, and I thought, he's not even going to answer my phone call, do you know what I mean? But he was like, absolutely, would love to do, you know, to work with you guys again, and turned it around really quickly and did it for the love of it, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well chuffed.
The thing is with Sparrer, I've always thought it's the strength of the songwriting that's like the underneath. I mean, your tunes, you could almost hear like a country and western singer doing them. Or you could actually have them all as some kind of a musical. Not saying you go down the route of madness, but all of them sound like it could be the last song of a West End show almost. I mean,
well, that's the biggest compliment. That is the biggest compliment you could pay Burge, our bassist, because a lot of the songs that he writes pretty much start off as country and western songs in his head. So yeah, I mean, look, songwriting's a craft. At the end of the day, a good song will stand up if you strip away all the punk rock and just sit down with an acoustic guitar. Has it got a melody? Has it got a hook? Is there a story to be told when you're singing it? You know, and I think we've always tried to have something in there that people can latch onto, whether it's a sentiment, whether it's an anthemic sing-along chorus or whatever. So, yeah, I guess it could be turned into, you know, those sort of things. It would need people far more talented than us to turn it into a musical.
But that's a real compliment, though, Roland. Thank you very much, because, you know, if you perceive or if you think that those songs would be able to sort of transfer into that sort of environment, that sort of stage, that sort of production, then that's a real compliment. Thank you.
No, because I'll just say the first time I was going to ask you this. The first time I ever heard of your band, I was watching Tiz Was.
Yay!
Do you remember being on Tiz Was?
Yeah, Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It was only shown in East Anglia, I think. Or it wasn't
shown
in London.
Not to begin with.
Well, it was in Birmingham, and I grew up in the North Midlands. We had Yorkshire TV at the top of the road and Midlands TV at the bottom of the road. And I was halfway down the hill, and we got Midlands TV, and then
ATV.
ATV with, and this band came on, and it was terrifying. I didn't know. I didn't know who the Rolling Stones were. Apparently, it was a version of a Rolling Stones tune. But that's the first time I went, and somebody said to me, "That's punk. That's wrong. That's bad. That's it." I know what.
If only you'd listened.
If only you'd been watching Swap Shop instead, like a good boy, instead of that anarchic, chaotic punk rock show of Tiswas.
Oh, but and then I assumed you got a huge back catalogue, and sort of
No.
I couldn't find any Cock Sparrer in the shops.
No, you still can't.
No, but do you think that was the thing of why you kind of got the kibosh in the first place? Because frankly, Colin, you look terrifying in that Clockwork Orange gear.
Thank you. I don't know. I mean, I
Your
think,
makeup. He had makeup on. He didn't look terrifying. Big girl's blouse.
I think that a lot of the reason why we didn't do anything or make any dents in the business first time around was A, because of the company we were signed to, and B, because of our total lack of interest in doing the things that they wanted us to do. I mean, there are so many examples of what Decca tried to get us to do because they thought that was the right thing to do. And there were so many examples of things that Decca put forward we just rejected out of hand. So I think a lot of that initial inactivity and lack of success was self-inflicted, which we don't mind admitting now, but there was also being signed to a label who didn't really know what to do with a punk band. They were not used to it. They signed us, Adam and the Ants and Slaughter and the Dogs, as their token punk efforts, because every other record label had punk bands and that was the new thing. And Decca certainly weren't designed to handle bands like us.
Ah, right, okay. But let me just think. It's been an odd old career, because like me, I was looking for your albums in the shops, and then Shock Troops came out, and I assumed it must have been an old album from like years back, and that it's kind of like this is this band's first album. Yeah. That's what I thought. I mean, how was it for you for reforming when suddenly it's like you're now back in or whatever?
It was a really strange situation, because after Shock Troops came out, we tried to tour it. The timing wasn't right. There were lots of violence at the gigs. We decided this is not for us. We don't want someone to get hurt at one of our shows. So we stopped playing for a while. And for a hiatus of about, 7 or 8 years or so, we didn't do anything. We all had families, we all got married, we all stayed as friends, we all stuck together, but we weren't playing. And it was during this time that Shock Troops began to sort of become a little bit of a cult album bubbling away in the background. And lots of people knew of the album's existence, but didn't know who Cock Sparrer were. And Daryl tells a great story of that. We could walk into any pub in those days, and the song will be playing on the jukebox, but no one would know that you was a member of Cock Sparrer because no one had any photographs of you, or there's no evidence of actually what you do apart from those early videos if you could get hold of them. But then when you're in a Clockwork Orange outfit, then people wouldn't recognise you talking to the pub in Bethnal Green anyway.
And you're still all based around East London, are you?
I'm in Essex. Steve Burgess is in Essex. Steve Bruce has moved up to Norfolk. Daryl's in Cheltenham. Mickey's in St. We've moved around a bit. We've all moved out of the city as such.
Okay, right, yeah. And yeah, and festival-wise, you seem to, if you play one festival, there's like thousands of people from all over Europe catching flights to see you. That must be like a massive compliment in that you don't have to go that far and everybody comes in.
It's hugely humbling. Hugely humbling. I mean, Daryl will tell you the stats better than I can, but when we did the Roundhouse in London a couple of year and a half ago for our 50th anniversary, the number of tickets that were sold abroad outsold those that went on sale in London. So the biggest percentage of the audience are those people that had booked hotels, booked flights, and travelled in just for that special occasion.
Why do you think it is, this sort of Europe-wide reputation, America as well?
I think it's because we've always been true to what we set out to do, which was to become a band who had fun, gave people a good night out in a safe environment, wrote songs that they could relate to. So, if you've got a particular song that you think means this, it means the same to a guy in Germany or a guy in Spain or a guy in Philadelphia. The number of people who have covered our songs, bigger bands than us, is very flattering as well. But we can go to Boston. Guy goes, yeah, I love your song Working. I love the way that it's all about